Hi, my name is Rich, and I don't know if I want to call myself an artist, but I've been making art for over 40 years. If you're watching this video, you probably have some interest in making some type of art. I've made lots of stuff over the years, some good, some bad, but I've learned a few things and I think I solved a couple of art-related problems. I'd like to share with you some of the things that I figured out. So first off, thank you for watching. Secondly, please check out some of my other videos. You might find some stuff, some content that you find interesting or helpful. And thirdly, please do any of that YouTube stuff that will help my videos appear to other people that might find them helpful. And what are those YouTube things? You know, like, subscribe, share, click a bell, whatever you're feeling. This video is for anyone who is interesting. I guess it might be for anyone who's interesting. But really, this video is for anyone who is interested in making oil paintings. One of the materials needed to make oil paintings is some type of solvent. There are things like Gamsol and turpentine, paint thinners. It's necessary because these are not water-based paints, these are oil-based products, and water is not going to help you in this situation. If you'd like to check out the description below, you can find some affiliate links to the products that I use, the solvents that I use. A solvent is used to break up the oil paints, to clean the brushes, and also to thin the paint. Solvents are a particularly nasty thing that you can't dump down a drain. It's very unsafe to do that. You have to dispose of it by taking it to a dump or wiping it up with paper towels and disposing of it that way. So it's not the best thing to be working with. It also could have some powerful fumes that you want to make sure you're working in an area with good ventilation. There's various products that have different degrees of nastiness, but it's not the most fun thing to do. So you have to store it. You can't just keep refreshing it. It can get rather expensive. So you want to make sure that you can make it last for the duration of making a painting or several paintings. Another issue with the solvent is you get your oil paint in there and it contaminates the solvent in the container, and you're just sort of like you're cleaning. It's almost like doing dishes with dirty water. So that's always a thing that you're kind of trying to separate into multiple containers. The tip that I'm offering you today is a way to manage the solvent in a safe way, to keep it sealed, to make it last for a long time, and also to separate it into two different batches within the same container so that you have a clean solvent used for the painting process, or the thinning of the paint process, and then you have another one that is a little bit more dirty or working solvent that you can use to clean your brushes. So you're going to need to start with two different containers. One is a bit of a larger container, like a pickle jar or mason jar that has a lid, and the other one is a smaller glass container that is typically, I found the ones that are used for storing spices that you would use for cooking works really well. This jar does not need a lid. Next, you'll fill both of these jars about halfway, just under halfway, with your solvent of choice. You'll then take the small jar and you'll place it, submerge it into the larger jar, and then you can go ahead and cap it up. Now you have this double jar situation that is not going to take up a bunch of space in your studio. It's capped up so the fumes won't be open to your studio when you're not using it. And also, if you leave a solvent open for any amount of time, it will evaporate eventually, which is also not fun to have to deal with. Now that you've done this, you've got a smaller container with clean solvent that I'll use with clean brushes to dilute paint, to thin paint, to almost like a working on the painting batch of solvent. And then around the outside, I have what we'll just call the dirty batch of brush cleaning solvent that is on the outside. Now, eventually, after a certain amount of time, this will separate. The oil paint will settle down to the bottom of the container, and eventually you'll need to clean this. But what I figured out, you kind of have to transfer the solvent into some other container so that you could use it because it's clean on the top when it's separated, like oil and water would separate. And then you just scoop that sludge out with a paper towel from the bottom and discard it, and you still have your solvent that you're able to be working with. What I've discovered with this particular process is the solvent lasts a lot longer because you're not using one container for everything. You're not getting all of that paint in there because you're using the outside area, the larger jar. You're using that for your cleaning of your brushes. So by the time you're done cleaning your brushes and it's all a cloudy mess, the interior glass jar is still clean. And you can basically use that. And then by the time you come back to paint again, after you've cleaned your brushes, that paint has settled in the outer container. And I don't clean mine literally for several paintings. So it lasts longer and it's just way more convenient and way more efficient. So there you have it. That's my tip for working with oil paint solvent if you're going to get started making an oil painting. So get out there and start painting. See you next time.
Thanks for watching. There's a little button that they put on the laptop or something, and then they say click it, and then you can never even miss a video.
That's if you subscribe.